Today's episode is sponsored by Awin. The world's leading brands grow through partnership marketing with Awin's enterprise technology, AI-powered insights, and expert U.S. regional support. With 30,000 advertisers, 1 million partners worldwide, and more than $20 billion in partner-driven revenue generated last year, Awin helps brands turn partnerships into growth. Learn more at awin.com/US. Join eMarketers, the Future of Digital Summit on September 15th in New York City for a full day of research, expert analysis, and executive conversations on AI visibility, commerce media, and the future of marketing. Click the registration link in the show notes for tickets. Hi, everyone. Today is Wednesday, August 26th. Welcome to eMarketer's weekly retail show, Reimagining Retail, an eMarketer podcast made possible by Awin. This is the show where we talk about how retail collides with every part of our lives, and I'm your host, Suzy Davidkhanian. On today's episode, we're back with our Unofficial Monthly Retailer Awards. Yes, the UMRAs. So let's get started. Let's see what stood out this month. Joining me, we have podcast regulars Sarah Marzano.
Hi, Suzy.
Hi, Sarah. Arielle Feger.
Hey, pumped to be here.
Yay! In the studio. And also we have Carina Perkins joining us from the UK. Hey, Carina.
Hi, Suzy.
I am so excited about this episode. You guys humored me, and we're going to talk about back to school. So as a reminder, here's how this works. Each month, we're handing out awards to the retailers we really think nailed it in a few key areas. We've got 3 categories: most impactful campaign, best in real life initiative, and the greatest under the radar move. So Arielle, Carina, Sarah, let's get going. You each brought your own nominees for August, and I get to pick the winner based on how convincing your case is. So let's get started. Award number 1, most impactful campaign. This is the marketing idea that broke through the noise. It resonated, it was memorable, and it drove performance. And the nominees are, Arielle, I'm starting with you.
Awesome. So my nominee for most impactful campaign is Urban Outfitters with its first CTV commercial. It features 76 students sporting pieces from multiple Urban Outfitter brands, including BDG and Out From Under.
I love this one because I feel like Urban Outfitter doesn't do a lot of advertising, and they've understood that their sweet spot is college. I do love that it's an ad, but it sounds like they're also doing lots of other things around it. So maybe that adds to the influencer credibility.
Yeah.
Carina, what's yours?
Okay, so for mine, Clarks has reworked the 90s classic Jump by teen hip-hop duo Kross for an ad which features kids from its hometown, Somerset, singing a reworked version of the song to promote its most affordable school shoe offer yet.
Wait, I didn't realize they're British? Kross?
Oh, no. Kross are not British. The kids featuring in the ad campaign
Are British.
How many They're from Clarks' hometown in Somerset.
Oh, got it. How many people sang the song to themselves when she said?
I did a little bit.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's crazy, right? Everybody is moving into this nostalgia, but is it relevant for Clarks? For their audience?
I think 100% because you've got it's kind of really going to bring some nostalgia for the parents, and Clarks is a brand that's been around for a really long time. So when all of the parents were going back to school, they would have gone to get their shoes from Clarks, 100%. So you're kind of targeting those parents with the nostalgia moment. And then at the same time, it's really relevant for the kids. It's a really fun, the kids do a great job. It's really fun, energetic, kind of feeding into that excitement of going back to school campaign. And I think it's really clever because everything is about inflation and everything's very price led. With the cost of living crisis over here, like a lot of back to school campaigns around price, but it's done something kind of genuinely fun and nostalgic, which really cuts through that noise, I think. But it has also paired it with its kind of biggest ever promotion and things and sort of lowest prices on shoes.
I kind of love Clarks, to be honest with you. And I find that they have a very specific sort of brand ethos, and this sort of modernizes it in a way that, sometimes nostalgia doesn't make it more modern. It just makes it like a look back, but it feels like they're trying to spruce up their branding as well.
Definitely. And, I'm pretty sure that I'm firmly in the age group of sort of parent that would be targeted by this campaign. And I absolutely love it. So I think they've done a great job.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I mean, immediately the song comes.
I don't even want to go now. Suzy loves Clarks.
I I also love cereal, if that helps. Sarah, who's your
the
nominee?
thing. All right, so I also was charmed by the nostalgia callback. So mine is General Mills, who's celebrating the 30th anniversary of their Box Tops, which is a fundraising program for schools where you clip a coupon out of the box of cereal. And they reunited the cast of Saved by the Bell campaign. So calling back to 1996 when they first launched Box Tops, and I am firmly the target audience for this. And I love the idea of like targeting my generation of parents with this very nostalgic callback that also goes to a good cause.
It is a nice example, right, of an older program like the Top Box and raising money sort of revitalized in a new way.
Similar to Carina's, like I love that it's like right at the parents, you know, right
I
at,
think we can all like think of that theme song in our head,
Yeah.
using all the nostalgic imagery and like
Yeah.
yearbook clippings and
Yeah.
some of the cast in the commercials.
They're in the commercials, which is wild, right?
Yeah, that is.
Like parents now, and assuming that they're parents, but like they're at that age where
Yeah.
they could be parents, and they're talking about the cereal. Do we even know which cereal? Because everybody's enamored with them.
I think it's all of the General
Yeah.
Mills,
Yeah.
which is
Is that a
question.
quiz?
Yeah, it was
quite
it was a
many.
good question. You guys, one of the ones that stood out to me was American Eagle is in the news a lot for all kinds of things around their and we talk about them a lot. But now they're also doing something for back to school as a 10-week sort of much more sort of not controversial. Here's how you get ready for school, and here's some mailers, and here's some campus sort of images, and here's a little bit of TikTok. And I thought that it was a really good way for them to sort of insert themselves in the conversation in a different way than what they usually do.
They're doing something cute with like mall culture too, right?
Yeah, they're doing lots of
I love the
big
mall.
influencery sort of things that
Yeah.
hit home or not. And then they're doing now they're starting to, I guess it sounds like, round out some of their imaging. Guys, this one's really hard for me because all the examples were so good. And based on the conversations that we had before, I don't want you to think that anybody's influenced me in any way, but I too was a Saved by the Bell person. And I think the idea that General Mills can figure out how to get parents, they already have the kids. The kids are already asking for the cereal, right? But how do they get the parents to sort of agree to the sugary cereals? Plus they're raising money, and it doesn't feel like it's all about the donations and that sort of angle. It just feels so much more authentic and seamless. They win.
I wish that this was a video podcast so we could have captured my face. when
I know
realized-
there was genuine shock.
I've been pressuring
awe.
behind the scenes.
No, I do. We all know our avid listeners who listen to the UMRAs, not to be confused with the UMRAs, know that I can be swayed. So nobody needs
I
to
told her her
convince me,
hair looks nice earlier.
which never happens. I hope my mom is
That was
listening.
genuine.
No, I agree with you on that one. I love Clark's, but Saved by the Bell, they've got the actual actors. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty,
It's
pretty great.
And now on to award number 2, Best in Real Life Initiative, the in real life move that got people off their screens and into stores, creating an experience worth checking out. And the nominees are, Carina, starting with you.
Okay, so mine is going to be Decathlon, who has launched a sports middle aisle. So they've taken this middle aisle idea from the discounters, Aldi and Lidl. Everyone loves the middle aisle, those great discounts. And they've created one originally focused on back to school. And I just think that's really clever because they've taken that kind of addictive middle aisle experience and they've launched it with a back to school campaign. And I just think it's going to get people going into stores because it is actually also available online. But I think people, for that middle aisle, you just love to go and rummage and have a bargain.
I have a question.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Is middle aisle something? I mean, I guess I don't frequent Aldi or Lidl often. Can you tell me more about what that actually is?
Yeah,
like
so
that too.
it's
Deep
a bunch of quite random stuff with great discounts.
It's
So
like
like
bins.
Aldi and it's
Treasure
a
hunt.
rotating. It's not a. It's
Treasure
things
hunt.
are only in for a couple of weeks and then it gets replaced with something else.
Ah,
So you could buy like a dog bed, a romper suit, a garden spade, and a plant pot. And it's great discounts, but then you go in 2 weeks later and it's gone.
oh, that's really cool. There's like
Yeah,
kind of
it's a
a
great idea.
a limited time only
Yeah.
and discount, which is like
Yeah.
that's
And so
win-win.
people will hear about it and you'll be like, oh my God, Aldi's got this in, and everyone rushes down to Aldi to
Oh, that's
get
so
the
cool.
thing. Yeah.
And in America, it's what we call the treasure hunt. It's
Yes.
like
I can't with you.
it is
right now.
this idea around
Restaurants.
Sarah had an idea around some topic that will remain nameless because she just shushed me in case you didn't hear. And I was like, dude, I don't know about that one. So here we are talking about treasure hunts in a different way.
Oh.
This example, though, is it's like a reused classic retail one, right? It's discovery, it's scarcity, it's like a really good discount. We know back to school is where it's the second largest sales opportunity in terms of dollar volume, but it's also difficult sometimes for parents to make it all happen. And the kids want certain things. And so Decathlon probably has branded things in their bins for people to get to.
Yeah, and I just think it's really clever. Like they've launched it for back to school, but then they've given themselves something that they can then use for other kind of seasonal events. It's something that's going to, if it's successful for this, going to keep people coming into their stores. So I just think it's a great move by them.
Love it. Sarah, who's your nominee?
So mine is Target. They are expanding their back to college event. So this is something that they did last year, but this year they're moving it to 150 stores, and they have 120 stores that are actually timing their events around the different move-in dates of nearby colleges, right? And then the larger locations are adding experiential things like DJs and mascots and sampling and giveaways to create like the sense of like
buzz,
urgency and FOMO that like you need to come into the store. And what I like about this one is it's sort of like for years we've been banging the drum on like omni-channel means this seamless thing where what happens online is exactly what's happening in store. And this sort of adds like the next level onto that, where like actually some nuance in terms of personalizing what's happening at your physical stores based on the regional location can be quite additive.
Yeah, I love the idea that they're doing it around the move-in dates because there's always like that one thing that you forget. And then you're like, oh, I guess I'll just run to Target. But then once you're there, you're like, oh, like there's so much stuff. There's all this other stuff,
Yeah,
you know?
it gets you all excited.
So Arielle, who's your nominee?
My nominee is 7-Eleven for doing some back to school menu deals. Now, I know that food at 7-Eleven is not usually at the top of everyone's list, but they are making a concerted effort to bring in more food options and restaurant options. You're running late in the morning, you got to stop for gas at the 7-Eleven. Oh, look, there's, some kind of biscuit sandwich that you can get real quick.
I used to get like this probably tastes disgusting vanilla latte thing out of a machine at 7-Eleven every morning before 8th grade.
Yeah, there you go. See, kids.
That's when my addiction.
I was going to ask, how is this a back to school? I'm interested because we don't have so many campaigns like that in the UK. How's it a back to school thing? Because
Also,
kids
what child
want
goes
breakfast
to-
before school? Like, yeah, who's going to 7-Eleven for breakfast?
I'm with you.
Like,
You took the question out of my.
privileged parent who like
Yeah.
wants to grab breakfast on the.
But how is that back to? I mean, surely that's at any point, right?
No way, because you've got to get your kids ready so effing fast.
There's
Okay.
School
it's
takes like I'm sorry, I'm yelling.
we can
I mean,
see
it's
the
cool.
parent is in the room.
I don't have kids, so I don't understand.
Well, I wish daycare started at 7 a.m., but I think like regular school starts really early.
And also like part of this is like a limited time like menu, like it's deals that are kind of catered to breakfast. I mean, it's something they could do any time of the year, but they're choosing to do.
So, and it sounds to me like, to answer your question, because I had a question that was not so much about the back to school marketing, because they slapped back to school marketing on. So that's what makes it back to school. They have decided that there
this
is
is what they're going with.
a need for convenience early in the morning, as Sarah is pointing out. It's hard for parents. Do kids eat 7-Eleven, and are there that many
But does it
7-Eleven?
have to be for kids? Like a back to school campaign can also be for what
For
parents
parents.
spend more money on during
Yeah.
this time.
I think back to school campaigns are probably mostly for parents who are spending the money, but this felt like it was meant to be for kids, and it was about value and tangible and
I mean,
FOCO
it
and
had a
stuff.
lot of choice. Like, I mean, some of them do, but like I can also imagine my mom driving me to high school saying, okay, I got to stop and get gas
Yeah,
at a 7-Eleven.
yeah.
Do you want anything to eat? And me being like, yeah.
All of this is hard for me to compute because, like, why would the parent not put gas the day before also, right?
Oh, oh my God, how much time do you guys have? Like, are you?
Suzy, you've never like been
I guess
late
the
somewhere and
parents-
having to fill up your gas tank or
Yeah, you've
No.
never been late before?
I'm always late, but I walk or take the subway. But like, I don't remember my parents not planning ahead. But that's a different. This is a whole different story. What I will say though is this feels more like a promotion versus like a real back to school activation where you like leave your seat to go. You know what I mean?
It fits into the wider strategy of what 7-Eleven is trying to do, which is build out their food
Are they
offerings.
making the food or are they partnering with someone?
Offering promotions through Laredo Taco Company, Raise the Roost Chicken,
Because
and
aren't they like
Biscuits
developing
Cafe.
more in-house restaurant
Yeah,
They're
brands?
trying
Are
to be
are
more.
the recipes like really good for kids because they
No.
build brain health or something?
Yes.
No, why
No.
would they be?
Guys, you know what the good news is? I think the winner is Decathlon because I think they have taken a movement that is like buzzy and like they have all the right things implemented, whether it's back to school or not. And it's almost like they're testing to see if it works during back to school or whether they give up. Because if you can't do it during back to school, this middle bin sort of like scarcity, promotion, value, like it's all of it mixed together. And the reason why you have to get there immediately, it's like a Zara. If you don't go immediately, it might not be there anymore. And so you got to buy it.
Yeah, I think it is a really great campaign.
Okay,
Me
so
too.
well, I'm so glad there's consensus. Okay, on to award number 3, greatest under the radar move, the smart play that didn't make all the headlines but quietly moved the business forward. And the nominees are, Sarah, let's start with you.
All right, I feel like I'm gonna get some guff for this because it's tangentially back to school related.
Love it.
But Suzy, it's like for you. This is one of your favorite topics. So Whatnot, which is a live shopping marketplace, just raised some funding and hit $20 billion in valuation. Their first half 2026 GMV surpassed $8 billion. And the reason this is so relevant is because retailers and brands in the US have been trying to figure out and failing cracking live shopping for going on a decade now. And it feels like Whatnot has finally found a formula around sort of gamification and urgency and competitiveness that I think is going to be important for any brand or retailer who targets a young audience to keep a very close eye on.
Yeah, and I like that because you're borrowing a platform, right? And it's everything from fashion to sneakers. They're really moving.
And that was one of the things, their fastest growing categories they've said are fashion and beauty, right? So they started with collectibles, but then they're branching out into more general merchandise.
And it's almost like if you can't make it happen during back to school, then can you make it happen?
Yeah.
So
I really thought I was going to get a lot more grief for this one.
No.
well, no, because I think it's a really, I mean, as you know, as you said, I am a firm believer that we are just not thinking about live stream shopping in the holistic way, because then you also have all these videos that you can use on your brand website. Like there's so much more than just that 1 minute, and it does send them signals of like urgency and what my friends are doing and FOMO, and like if everybody's buying this, then I need it too. So I think it's a great idea. On to the next nominee, Arielle, your turn.
So this is under the radar to me, but I did confirm with Sarah that she does know who Blippi is.
I had to Google them. You might want to tell us who they are.
So Wonderful Halos, which is the company that does, those little like clementine mandarins, is working with a children's character, Blippi. His costume is orange and blue, and the Halo logo is orange and blue. So it kind of made sense for them to do something together. And apparently he's very popular.
I love this one because it's genuinely targeted at kids.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
And the parents who try so hard to keep their kids away from
Exactly.
Blippi.
But I think it's so cute because like who knew that tangerine, like most fruits are not, there's very few fresh fruits that are branded
Yes.
that people recall the brand. And now everybody's going to remember this brand for better or worse. Everyone's going to remember it, and the kids are going to want to eat it because they see their favorite cartoon doing it.
Yeah. And
I love this one.
Yeah. And also like, I just think, those are in everyone's lunches. Like,
Yeah.
It's just like automatic, like grab one or two, throw them in the lunchbox.
And
I
like
know.
how many fresh fruit brands do licensing type of partnership
Exactly.
agreements, right? The whole thing is crazy. I love it. Carina, your turn. Who do you have?
Okay, I've gone for Very, which is a multi-brand online retailer, and they've frozen prices on 141 school uniform essentials at 2023 prices. And they've also added another 20% off for the first couple of the weeks of the campaign. And the campaign launched in June. So that's really clever. It was only for a couple of weeks, that extra discount. So they're kind of encouraging people to spread their back to school spending over a wider timescale, which is useful for parents because it means that they can kind of spread their costs, but it's also great for them as a brand because they're stretching out that kind of campaign.
And it feels like for us in the US, the price freeze is something we see often, and many of our big box retailers have also done that. But it sounds like in the UK, it's kind of a newer thing.
I wouldn't say a newer thing, like we've seen it before. I think it's a new thing to freeze it at a price of like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
This is why it was kind of the under the radar for me, because I think it's something that other brands are doing, other retailers are doing. But what I really liked was that kind of extra discount for the first 2 weeks of the campaign, because then you're really incentivizing people to kind of get their spending in earlier in the period.
I also think the product is interesting. Like I feel like, again, we see it a lot with big box or grocery like CPG, but with like school uniforms and stuff, I think it's something you don't think about as being a necessity and essential, or maybe, I don't know, I'm not a parent again, but I think it's something that you don't think about as like factoring into a lot of your costs, but it does.
And I think it really taps into, in this country at the moment, a lot of people are really struggling financially. So that kind of back to school, kids have grown out of their uniforms, having to spend the money. Like it's a real drain on households at the moment. So I just think it's a really important thing for brands to be doing, especially this year in the UK.
And also, like, I grew up with a uniform. Uniforms are expensive, so that they're frozen is really good.
Yeah.
You guys, I had one too. Honest Kids. I don't know if you saw this. They did an activation at the Chicago Lincoln Park Zoo where kids got to write and be brutally honest with their parents.
Brutally honest.
I love
about
that.
how they feel. But the packaging, like the actual juice box packaging, is like a space for the parent to write the personalized note.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, cute.
That's really nice. I like that a lot.
That is really cute.
Okay, so and the winner is, guys, this just happened on accident. That everybody gets to win one, because for me, the wonderful halos and the Blippi, which is Arielle's.
I love that one. I think that's a very deserving winner.
A very unexpected, under the radar move that should hopefully create a lot of great habits for the school year ahead.
Indeed.
So the winners are, for award number 1, most impactful campaign, General Mills. Award number 2, best in real life initiative, Decathlon.
This is all very diplomatic.
Yeah.
It never happens like
Everyone
that.
got a
She's not normally diplomatic, so
Okay.
I think that's
just a coincidence.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that happened when I hosted the guest host of awards. I
See?
think I gave everyone one.
It happens, but it's very rare. And award number 3, greatest under the radar move, Blippi and the Mandarins from Wonderful Halo. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Carina.
Thanks, Suzy.
Thank you, Arielle.
Thank you.
And thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Suzy.
And a big thanks to the team who edits the podcast, and of course our listeners. I'll see you next Wednesday for more Reimagining Retail, an eMarketer podcast made possible by Awin. And we'll be back with the UMRAs at the end of September. And on Friday, you can join Marcus for another episode of Behind the Numbers.